From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
It's one of the greatest what-ifs of all time. What if John Kennedy had survived the ambush in Dallas, Texas on November 22nd, 1963? I'm Bryce Zabel, and that question has haunted me all my life, and I'm sure it's haunted many other people. Only this year I decided to try to answer the question, and I've written Surrounded by Enemies. What if Kennedy survived Dallas? You've probably wondered how the world would have turned out differently. Would John Kennedy have been able to get civil rights legislation enacted? What about the Vietnam War? Would he have ended the Cold War? And what would the 60s have looked like? My day job is as a primetime TV writer and writer of miniseries and features, but for the past decade I've immersed myself in this topic of John Kennedy's life and his tragic death, and I've come to an unconventional conclusion about what would have happened if JFK had survived. Surrounded by Enemies, What If Kennedy Survived Dallas is an alternate history novel, but it's not a time travel, go back in history to save the president kind of story at all. I've tried to ground my story in the facts as they existed and create a plausible scenario and tell this as a journalistic accounting of this alternative history where John Kennedy survived. Now, even though I admired many things about John Kennedy, as most of us have, I still try not to tell it through rose-colored glasses. If John Kennedy had survived those assassin's bullets on November 22nd, I submit that on November 23rd, he would have woken up and realized that only the day before he had been targeted for execution on a public street in broad daylight. And that would have changed the way he did business, and life would not have returned to normal. In fact, I think that John Kennedy and his Attorney General brother Robert Kennedy would have immediately set out to try to figure out who might have been behind this attempted murder, and there would have been plenty of suspects. They would not easily have accepted the lone gunman theory. They would have been thinking about the CIA, certainly the organized crime figures, the Soviet Union, Castro, anti-Castro Cubans, even elements of the U.S. military, and of course they would have also been very suspicious of the loyalty and competence of the Secret Service and the FBI. I think it's fair to say that at the end of that process, that Jack and Bobby Kennedy would have become the nation's first conspiracy theorists. In Surrounded by Enemies, then, you'll see John Kennedy confronted by some dark and powerful forces in opposition who then take advantage of his own risky behavior. Those extramarital affairs, those secret medical files, and even many of those covert political operations that he conducted around the globe. I don't want to give away too much, but I will say that I've tried to create this as a thrilling but plausible and suspenseful political thriller. I do understand that there have been hundreds, if not thousands, of Kennedy books written over the years, and I'm mindful of that. So what I've tried to do is to write the one Kennedy book that you probably have never read before. I hope you enjoy reading it as much as I've enjoyed writing it. Thank you for your time.